11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, very good afternoon and Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim friends. I hope everyone is excited because it's already our fourth day of the Jom Iftar. First and foremost, we would like to thank everyone in this all for allocating time from your busy schedule to attend this event. I hope everyone is excited as today will be another fun day for all of us. Well, myself, Mira, you have seen me before. I'm the one hosted Jom trivia session at the first day. Well, I'm glad despite the pandemic that we are battling, we are still able to learn knowledge, culture practices related to Ramadan festive season. Welcome to Jom Sharing session. Before we move on, there are few housekeeping rules that you need to keep in mind. A laptop or PC is recommended for easier and better features. It is recommended to use a headset or earphones for better sound. Turn on your camera as we are going to have a fun day for today. Turn off or mute your microphone as your default mode. You may need to turn it on when required. Please make sure you have a stable internet connection. You may have snack, coffee, or tea next to you while enjoying this workshop. To those who are fasting, all you can do is sit down and relax. Please keep your username in the given format, which is your name underscore your country. For example, Anson underscore New Zealand. As for buddies, please change your name to buddies underscore your name. For example, buddies underscore Mira. If you have any questions, you are welcome to chat with us in the chat box. Once again, welcome to Jom Iftar sharing session. Now, with much honor, I would like to call upon Dr. Virda from Center for Sport and Exercise Sciences to take over the session. Dr. Virda, the floor is yours.
Thank you, the MC for
Mira.
today, Miss Hema Mira. You're very, very excitable, and I would like to keep up with the energy that you have. My name is Wirdati. I am from the Center of Exercise and Sport Science. I am going to be your moderator slash sister, or probably older friend here today. I'm very happy and pleased. I would have to record my appreciation to the International Student Center for organizing this initiative. For everybody out there, Ramadan Kareem for those who are practicing, observing it, and also a very happy day. It's afternoon here in Kuala Lumpur and wherever you are that have different time zones from us. Happy day to all of you. We are here because of the Jom Iftar campaign or program that the ISC International Student Center are organizing. I was made to understand that it was a physical program before the COVID-19 pandemic struck, where the ISC, under the purview of the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic and Internationalization, would gather all international students in to experience fasting, the fasting month, by taking them, engaging with them to different parts of the country, having iftar or the breaking of the fast with communities in different places in this country. But because of the COVID-19, that had not been done last year in 2020. And in this year, ISC decided to do things differently and do this sort of gathering, hybrid gathering. We have virtual gathering as well as we will have some of our students here today with me to experience this fasting month. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, where we will observe in Malaysia. It started on the 14th of April, 12th of April, and we are going to end that in the next week with Eid celebration. So I was informed that we have our students undergoing outbound programs, Malaysian students, and we also have full-time international students who's going to spend the Ramadan as well as Shawwal Eid here in this country with me in the preceding sections. So if I could just put on my reading glass, looking professorial, and we have 3 students that is all over the country, all over the world, Malaysian students that I'm going to call out their names. And we have international students that is here with me physically, as well as one online. So for the students undergoing outbound programs, we have Nina from UK doing her outbound in the University of Glasgow. Amran Ashraf doing his outbound program at Vienna University, Austria, and Haikal doing his program in Sejong University, Korea. And also my international students who's going to accompany me momentarily is Mr. Rasim from India, Mr. Fayaz from Sri Lanka, and a friend of Miss Constanza from Italy, which we will put her online shortly. So if we can straight away go to the presentations that the students have prepared for us as to kickstart the Jom Sharing within the Jom Iftar program under the ISC. Maybe we could call our first student, Mr. Haikal. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Yes, Haikal, how are you? How are you today?
I'm doing good, actually.
What time is it now in Seoul?
Right now it is 4:11.
4:11. Okay, which is
Yes.
okay. An hour earlier than we are here.
Yeah, an hour.
Yeah, an hour earlier. So your iftar time will be around
7:20. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the floor is yours, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. Wait. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Haika. I'm a third-year student majoring in computer science in University of Malaya. And currently I'm an exchange student at Sejong University in South Korea. So we'll go talk about my experience here. All right, so fasting here isn't that hard because the weather, it's very cold. And like, it's very cold, yeah. For sahur, I don't really eat much. I just drink some water and then go back to sleep. And iftar time is similar to Malaysia, so it's all right, yeah, because I wake up around the same time in Malaysia too. And some of the challenges here when it comes to food is there's not a lot of halal food. So you have to find alternatives like seafood or vegetarian, or you can cook yourself. Yeah. And next. So even though I'm fasting here, I still travel a lot because that's what I like to do. Even yesterday, I went for a hike actually in the afternoon, even though it was hot. Yeah, and yeah, so Korea is very beautiful, so I get to see a lot of stuff here. Yeah. When it comes to food, most of the time you be seafood or like vegetarian. And if you want to find halal food, there's like one specific place in Korea, Seoul, which is called Itaewon. So there's a lot of halal food there. If you want to eat out, that's where we usually go to. And if I'm not going out, usually I would just eat what's on the bottom left. As you can see, it's something simple. But yesterday we had Marina cook us food. So that was the first time I actually had like Malaysian food cooked by a Malaysian here. And what I miss most about fasting in Malaysia is the Bazaar Ramadan, because there's like a variety of food that you can get there, but not here, and stuff that are like hard to make. And also my mom's cooking, yeah, definitely that. And iftar with like friends, like a big gathering and family. But here I actually have a sister here. She's studying in Korea full time. So yeah, it's not so hard. I have some Malaysian friends too who I can meet. So yeah, it's not so bad. Yeah. And that's about it. Right, thank you. And anything else?
Okay, thank you, Haikal.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I wanted to ask maybe a few questions. Listening to your sharing about if fasting and iftar in Korea, but
Yeah.
it does help when you have a sister. Your sister is studying in the same university too?
No, a different university.
Different? Is it far?
It's quite far. Maybe like 40 minutes, 1 hour
Okay.
by public
So,
transport.
do you have Korean friends who are Muslims and who had been helping with adjusting to fasting in Seoul?
Korean friends who are Muslim? No, but I have
No?
a Malaysian friend who's been staying here for a year.
Okay.
He's actually a senior he was a senior in UM. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So will you do this again? Fasting in a foreign land and
Yeah.
maybe yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's not my first time fasting overseas.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for the sharing.
All right,
There will
you're
be more
welcome.
questions, I guess, from our. We have participants from all over the world listening to us right now. So I'll save some of their questions to later.
Okay.
I would like to say kamsahamnida for the
Okay.
sharing again, and stay tuned. We are going to come back to you. Thank you so much again. Okay, and then we heard from Korea, University of Sejong, and now I would like to call another student doing her outbound program at the University of Glasgow. Nina. Hi, Nina.
Everyone.
Good
Can you hear me?
morning. Well,
Good
it's
morning.
what time is it in Glasgow?
Currently, it's 8 a.m.
Okay.
I am 7 hours behind of Malaysia.
Okay. Yeah. Can you tell me a bit about yourself? Your
Okay.
program, your course.
Currently, I am in my final year. I'm majoring in finance, and at my host uni, University of Glasgow, I am just taking subjects that sort of not only support me in my major, but also like my electives. So I think it's really interesting that I'm able to do that. I am currently staying with two other Malaysians. They are master students from the University of Strathclyde. It's not from the same uni as I am, but I was able to be connected to them through the Malaysian community group here. And I think that has really helped me in my stay here.
Okay. So I'm going to let you do the presentation that you have
Okay.
for us today. Yeah, go ahead.
I've actually prepared a video, and I'm just gonna share my screen right now. I hope everyone would be able to watch it. Can everyone see my screen?
I can see it from here, yeah.
Okay.
There's no voice actually.
Sorry, I'm told that I don't have the audio.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here.
Um,
Can we help with the audio from the mothership?
is this okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Tar.
Okay. Yeah, we can. Okay.
Okay, I'll just restart. Hi everyone, my name is Nina and I'm going to bring you on a journey almost 11,000 kilometers away from home. I'm an exchange student from the University of Malaya, Malaysia, and my host university is all the way in Scotland, United Kingdom, that is the University of Glasgow. Scotland is a country north of Great Britain. Glasgow University is ranked 67th in the world and is known for its campus buildings and structures that resemble Hogwarts from Harry Potter. Now come on and join me as I prepare for Iftar. I usually travel around using the subway system because it is very convenient. One thing that I'm very lucky with as well is that Glasgow has many Asian supermarkets, and that's usually where I stock up my key ingredients. This is my favorite one called Matthew's Foods. As you can see, there are many products familiar to Malaysian eyes. You can find santan, gula melaka, and even Milo. In fact, you can find belacan here. For perishables, I often go to the grocery stores near where I live. It's very easy and convenient to find halal meat for me because I live close to a Muslim community. My flatmates and I usually cook at home rather than going outside to eat. Lucky for me, I have flatmates who are very good cooks. This time, we're making beef fried rice and fried chicken with a bottle of teh o ice. Very Malaysian indeed. Oftentimes, we make other Malaysian dishes like ayam masak merah, masak lemak, soup daging, and many more. While it is very common to have Ramadan bazaars in Malaysia, here there are only monthly markets and they're usually smaller in size. In Glasgow, whenever you want to visit the mosque for prayers, there is a booking system online, and I was finally able to get myself a slot last Friday. The Glasgow Central Mosque is about 1 mile away, or 1.6 kilometers, but because our hours are shorter at night, we took the subway to get there so that we would be in time for Tarawih. I wish I could show you more of how the mosque looks like from the inside, but unfortunately we aren't allowed to take footages, so this is all that I have to show. Currently, the lockdown rules in Scotland are slowly being eased and the Malaysian community here is hoping to gather for Eid. Hopefully we'll be able to. Thanks for sticking around and tuning in. Till next time, bye!
Wow. Thank you, Nina, for sharing the video. You're very lucky that you have flatmates that are good cooks. They are master students or?
Yeah, they're master students.
Master students,
One
right.
taking
From
engineering
Malaysia.
and the other one's taking international marketing.
Okay. I was hoping to see more of a master cook sort of dish. It's very Malaysian.
Yeah.
Maybe haggis,
Oh,
traditional
haggis.
Scotland sheep, awful thing. Yeah, but never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is how experiencing fasting month is for you. That looked very nice, especially when we can cook.
Yeah.
And bazaar, Ramadan bazaar, for everybody else.
Honestly, it was
also
pretty hard for me at first because of the extra timing, because Scotland is northern a bit from the globe. So every day is different hours for us to fast. And currently, at least for today, I start my fasting hours at 1:30 a.m. and I break my fast at 9:15 p.m. So that's about 20 hours of fasting. But after a while, I think I have slowly gotten used to it. And similarly, like Haikal, because of the weather and how it's not too hot or humid as compared to in Malaysia, I think that has really helped me as well.
It's what season is this? It's a spring after Easter,
Yeah,
right?
it's spring.
Yeah.
We're moving towards summer soon, I think. Yeah.
So the daylight is longer, which explains why you are having more hours of fasting. And also you could get a bit dehydrated without knowing because of the long hours of fasting.
Yeah,
so that's also
and it's pretty confusing sometimes because when I eat for iftar and then when I want to continue eating for my sahur, I would still feel full. So I don't know like if I should force myself or so I just like try.
Yeah, take very little food for sahur because one, because we get the blessing from taking sahur as provided by the hadith of the Prophet, but also for our own feelings that you had something to last you until 9 p.m. the next day. So yeah. Okay, there were a few questions from our participants of this session. I can see a lot of them are very interested with the University of Glasgow's architecture.
Yeah.
Thinking that you probably are studying at Hogwarts.
Yeah, it really does look almost identical.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. Okay, thank you so much. Stay tuned because we are going to come back with some questions from our friends. And yeah, thank you. Just say Steve. Yeah.
Okay.
So the third Malaysian student that I'm going to call is Mr. Amran Ashraf. He's in Vienna University. Ashraf is here.
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes,
hi.
I can.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ashraf, and you guys can just call me Ashraf, and I am currently studying in Vienna University of Economic and Business in Austria. So yeah, I have prepared a video.
Yes,
Hold on.
please.
Give me a second.
Okay.
Let me
Go ahead,
show my.
Mr. Ashraf.
All right. See? Okay. Sound share. Okay.
What time is it in Vienna?
Yeah.
Is it the same with
Uh,
UK?
no, we are an hour more. So currently we are in like
Nine.
9:28 p.m. So we are 1 hour early than UK because we
Okay.
are Central European region. Okay. So I will share the video. Yeah. Um, so basically, let me recap some considering that some details of my video is quite fast. So basically, in Vienna, we have like 17, 18 hours of fasting. I would say like more similar to the UK, but we are lesser than that. So currently today our sahur time is around 3 a.m. until the iftar is around if I'm not mistaken today is around 8 p.m. So maybe around 19 hours. Yeah, around 19 hours. And to be honest, like fasting here can be quite a struggle because right now I am alone as a Malaysian student. I don't really have like Malaysian friends or any other Muslim friends. I have like two other Muslim friends, but they don't really like fast because they are different branch of Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't really fast.
Okay.
And they don't really fast as in, I mean, they do sahur and stuff, but they still drink water because they are different branch of Muslims. So yeah, that's quite a struggle. And in terms of the halal food, just like in the video, Vienna is actually quite international city, so there's like plenty of other Muslim here, not just, not, I mean, yeah, there's like plenty of Muslim, especially Turkish people. So every 5 minutes, you walk into the city, you can stumble upon another Muslim, and they have like lots of Muslim halal foods. For example, like they have like Turkish stores, and the nearest Turkish store near to me is around 5 minutes walk by walking, and they have like quite cheap halal meat, quite different grocery product from Turkey. And if that's not enough, you can also go to Asian market. You can find like Indonesian product, Malaysian product, and and Australia itself is very much modern, so they have like lots of vegan options, and this include like even the restaurant here have like lots of vegan option, vegan restaurant. For example, like a bagel restaurant, they have like vegan option. So you don't really need to worry. And if all this does is not enough, you still can get kosher because there's like a lot of Jewish store, and pretty much Muslim can use kosher meat as a substitute for halal meat. And yeah, in terms of the general grocery store, we have like Spa, Bila, Hopper. So groceries here are, I would say, like quite cheap and much more affordable compared to Malaysia, maybe in a sense. So it's not really worrying because you can always get a pasta or any other vegetables at a cheap price at the grocery market there. And at the Islamic Center, just like in the video, it is a first come first serve basis. So they only open during the prayer hours. For example, like we have like five time prayers, right, per day. So they only open like five specific times during the whole day. For example, like Zoho at 1:30 p.m. So I need to go like an hour early to secure my spot. If not, if it already taken or if the spot is already full, then I cannot go in. So that's the thing.
Oh,
And usually they have like free iftar during the normal season, but currently in pandemic it's not possible because we cannot have a dine in or grouping, so there's no free iftar, and that's quite sad actually.
but they don't
Uh,
pack the iftar.
yeah,
They don't pack the iftar for you to take away. No.
no, maybe I don't think so. Maybe I should try to go during the iftar,
Yeah,
but
you
then
should.
ask them, they say that they don't have the free iftar anymore during the pandemic. So yeah,
So that.
yeah,
Thank you.
and
That. Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, okay. And they also have prayer, Taraweh prayer, but I haven't still been during the prayer time, the Taraweh time, because it is quite far from my place. It's like 1 hour by train, 1 hour, 2 hours by train, and you need to always go like an hour early because there's like a limited spot, and you don't really need to book. There's no booking system. You just need to bring your own prayer mat, come an hour early, so you just like first come first serve. And even if the spot is taken or you cannot get into it, don't worry because they have like a live session, so you can just pray from your home and then just stream it live through Facebook. Yeah, it is through Facebook, live Facebook. This, I mean, that's the beauty of the current digital age.
Yeah.
And yeah, in like I say, I'm here alone. So
Okay.
when it comes to iftar, uh, I I just eat alone because I don't have a roommate. Yeah, I'm supposed to have a roommate, but unfortunately with this pandemic, most of the students are doing like online exchange semester, so not all can get. But I still have a group of friends, and sometimes we do like picnic or we uh, make a dinner together. So that's my kind of get together, eat together, and
You cook, as I
yeah,
can see from the video.
yeah, I agree. I mean, eating out is not that, just as I have a dinner together with my friends, so we share recipes, and they have like, my friends are Italian, so they share like a simple pasta recipe,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all of them are much healthier than my home country in Malaysia. And to be honest, I lost like 10 kg since I arrived here in Vienna. In 3 months, I
Wow.
lost kg.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the food that you are eating, that you are showing in your video, is very, it's an upgrade of what you probably have
That's
compared to our roti canai and teh tarik here.
Yeah, true, but that's like occasional food. It's not every day I'm going to cook the same food. Most of the time I just cook pasta or make fried rice, something simple, something like enough for one person.
Yeah. One dish
Yeah.
meal kind of thing, huh?
hmm I mean, the hardest part is because I am alone as a Malaysian and also as a Muslim student, so I don't really have like friends to make iftar together.
Yeah.
But still I have like a group of friends, and occasionally we have a dinner together, and I guess that's already satisfying enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that you enjoy that, the cooking and the gathering with friends, and then you showed the Islamic Center. So yeah, it's an interesting experience, and I think you would want to do that again if given the opportunity, don't you? Would you?
Of course, I mean, most of the time that people here are always having picnic. I
Ah,
love the picnic
yes.
culture. They get together, having like a cookout. I mean, it's
Yeah.
harder in Malaysia because of the temperature, the weather.
Weather is nice. Yeah. Can't cook out so much in Kuala Lumpur now because of the rain. We're having rains like every single day. Bazaar Ramadan is also being inundated by heavy rains and also MCO. So you're not losing out so much.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you for sharing with us your journey with fasting. Stay with us. We are going to have more questions from our participants to you, and I thank you again. Okay, thank you. Right. Now I'm going to turn to my friends here, my young sirs from Malaysia in terms of studying, but they are engineering students. We have Mr. Rasim,
Yeah.
sorry, correct me for my pronunciation. Mr. Rasim from India and Mr. Fayaz from Sri Lanka. Okay, I will start with you, Mr. Rasim, because you're closer to me. Okay, tell us something about yourself,
Okay.
about fasting in this country, yourself meaning where you're from,
Mhm.
and then fasting in Malaysia.
Sure.
And
Okay.
go ahead.
So, hello everybody. My name is Muhammad Rasim. I'm a third year mechanical engineering student in University of Malaya. I'm in my 6th semester right now. So yeah, I've gone through 3 long years in University of Malaya.
Is it long for you? Or is
Yeah,
it too short?
university. I mean, half our university life was
Okay.
in our home because of COVID and all.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So fasting in Malaysia compared to India. I grew up in Malaysia, but I used to go back to India for my holidays and
Okay.
to spend time with my family there. But I would say that Malaysia is more chill when it comes to fasting, like the
Like that word,
bazaars.
chill?
And, it's a more the vibe is more chill.
Okay.
I can say that, yeah. And India is a bit more. There aren't really bazaars at night
Okay.
and stuff. So the fasting culture is more towards the home. So
Oh, I see.
yeah, you don't go out to restaurants anymore.
Okay.
But in Malaysia, it's a
It's
culture
like a
of
festival
going out.
here.
Yeah, going out.
It's all about food.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we got depressed because bazaar
Yeah,
Ramadan
bazaars
is
are closed now, yeah.
Okay. But I like when you say culture. The culture of fasting in India is more family oriented. How would you describe that? We don't have iftar outside so much as here. I think.
In India, it's more of like you can do whatever you want from the morning, but after you have to come back home.
Oh.
So you have to. So if I spend 30 days of my Ramadan in India, I don't go out to meet friends for iftar. I do meet them after iftar, maybe like later at night, maybe 9 o'clock. But for iftar, it's a time for the family. So everybody, because all my extended family is in around the area too. We all gather at like one house. Usually it'd be one aunt's house on one day, another day would be an uncle's house.
You rotate.
We rotate, yeah.
Wow.
So there'll be like 20, 25 people in the house every day.
Okay.
And yeah.
So they will be I mean, the cooking of iftar food will be done by the matriarchs and the female member. Well, I should say all members of the family, not just the
Yeah.
female. But
Actually, yeah, it is true though. It's mostly the women
yeah,
of the family who cook, because frankly, nobody wants to eat the men's cooking.
yeah. Well,
And yeah, we don't. Person of the house doesn't cook, so we just make food in our own homes and we all bring it together to one house.
we call it potluck here. I don't know why it's lucky
Yeah,
pot, but yeah,
potluck.
it's bringing food to
Yeah, we
to to ease the burden of the
House, yeah.
guest, the host with the cooking. What kind of food you usually cook?
Okay. For iftar, we make different kinds of jelly. It's very similar to the kueh here.
Jelly?
The agar agar.
Oh,
jelly.
really?
Yeah, but it's usually milk based. So,
Okay. Can you find it here?
No, you can't find it here.
Oh, kulfi, like kulfi, no?
Kulfi is more it's like an ice cream dessert.
Okay.
So we don't usually make it like that.
I see.
But porridge is a must. And usually we make it at home, or if it's like a big family. But if it's just one or two people, we get it from the mosque like we do in Malaysia also.
So it's also prepared in mosque to be given out.
To give it out to everybody.
Do they have iftar at mosques?
Yeah, they all do. But like I said, again, it's more of a family thing. So unless you're like a single person or a bachelor living
traveling.
alone, travelers,
Travelers.
you don't go to the mosque.
See. Do you have the culture of tarawih? The sunnah
Tarawih
prayers?
happen. And in India, here you have your 8 and 20.
Yes.
There's a big confusion all over it's a thing all over the world among Muslims. But in India, it's everybody prays 20. Yeah, it's like if you leave at 8, people like
It's like,
stare you
what?
down. Yeah.
Okay.
So Tarawih happens, but mostly Tarawih again. We say we're going to pray, but we pray for like the first 15 minutes and then we go out and like, hang out with friends.
I understand.
Yeah, but when we were younger, we're better people now.
But as you mature, the 20 will just, flow by. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because the thinking of 8 rakaat is quite okay.
Yeah.
And then 20 is like a norm. So, that's very brave. But maybe as I grow older, it gets easier. Oh, very nice. Now I move to you. We're going to. I have so many questions, and I'm sure our participants are also going to ask questions. What about you, Fayaz? Tell me something about.
My name is Fayaz. I'm an engineering student as well, third year engineering, and 6 semesters, same as Wasim. We actually joined at the same time, so we're actually quite close friends as well.
Okay.
Ramadan in Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka is a South Asian country, so it's quite similar to India in terms of culture, I would say. Let's first I'll focus on what's different between Malaysia and Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So I've been 3 years in Malaysia. 1 year was, I would say, wasted because of COVID.
Okay.
So I missed out on 1 year, but I would just say 3 years for it, just for numbers' sake. So my first year, it was the actual proper year I got to spend Ramadan in Malaysia. So as most of you would know, Muslims are a minority in Sri Lanka, so about 10%. So Ramadan is just a religious observation for Muslims in Sri Lanka. While in Malaysia, you could see it's a very festive culture. You could go out, you could see discounts, you could see bazaar, and it's a lot of fanfare around it. In Sri Lanka, it's almost like it's Christmas season in comparison to Malaysia.
Understood.
So there's a lot of bazaar and stuff. But in Sri Lanka, the Muslims alone, they have fasting. So I would say it's a much more religious thing in Sri Lanka, I would say, over an entertainment thing. Because in Malaysia, I would say a bit more geared to a little bit of more entertainment around Ramadan, a little bit more fun around Ramadan. People love to go for bazaar, they get together with friends. I did in my first year, I loved the bazaar. It was the first time thing for me. And in Sri Lanka, it's like Rasin said, it's a very home-based iftar. So it's a very family thing. So especially for me, Sri Lanka, the Muslim community is quite tight knit. Generally, you would find a lot of Muslim families around one Muslim house, and it's also usually around the masjid.
Okay.
So what happens is my mom makes some food for iftar. So let's say, for example, she'd make samosas. So fried food is a big thing in Sri Lanka.
I love samosas.
It's a lot of fried food. It's not healthy, but come on, we all crave it.
Not like in Austria, no. Okay.
So my mom makes samosas, and then there are around 15 houses around the block. So I would take samosas that my mom makes, and I would go to each house for exchange.
Oh.
So at the end of the day, there are about 15, 20 varieties of food at our house, even though my mom made only samosas. That's something I quite miss because it's quite a nice feeling because you talk to everyone, and it's a homeliness, I would say. So that's quite interesting. And like Rasin said, Tarawih is almost always 20. So if you leave at 80, they'll be like, why are you lazy or something like that.
Better don't come at all then.
It's almost always training. And takeout culture is almost non-existent. So you almost always cook for suhoor. And my mom would generally wake up at Sri Lanka fasting times are generally 4:30 to 6:30 ish. So my mom usually would wake up in the morning at 2 and she'll make we call it a sahar in Sri Lanka. In Malaysia it's called suhoor.
Suhoor, yeah.
So my mom would make fresh in the morning at 2:30. So big props to my mom. So every day for Ramadan, she's up at 2:30 and making suhoor for us, and then the guys would go back to sleep.
Yes.
And
why do they do that?
the guys would go back to sleep, and if I have school, I go back to school, I go work or whatever.
Yeah.
And most of the Muslim women in Sri Lanka, at least from my mom's generation, were housewives, but currently most of them are actually becoming professionals.
Okay.
So, but actually, big props to the women because they would make sahur, they would clean the house, they would manage the household, and I would come back home straight from school. I'll still go back to sleep. I take a shower and sleep, or maybe play a little bit outside and go back to sleep. My mom would still be up and she'll start working on iftar as well. So it's a big sacrifice the women make. I would literally say women are the heroes of Ramadan in Sri Lanka and India as well, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's true. In India too.
I like the concept behind exchange of food or desserts. How it's a savory dessert on your part. That is an epitome of the concept sharing is caring, and when you give, you will get more than what you. Yeah, so that is totally nice. In the urban side of this country, we do have that sort of exchange of it's like your neighbor shouldn't be able to know what you're cooking from the waft of the aroma without them tasting. So they were supposed to go and exchange, but that is kind of lost in this day and age, which is a shame. One, because we won't be able to know your neighbor, not about what they eat, but the neighbor per se. You don't even know who they were, much less caring for them. So yeah, that is something that I take away from that. And also the male members of family not doing anything for iftar or for suhoor. I think it's also going to change with the kind of young generations that I'm seeing. We've seen my friend in Vienna who'd been cooking, and in Seoul also do some cooking, and then cooking will not just be confined to the female members of the household. I received some requests to explain about Taraweh. Any one of you would like to explain what is Taraweh to our audience? You can do both. Take turns.
Okay, so I'm assuming some of you will be familiar of the normal Islamic prayer. So there are 5 compulsory prayers. So Tarawih is not a compulsory prayer, but it is almost compulsory during Ramadan, I would say. Tarawih is not just limited to Ramadan. You could pray it on any other day, but during Ramadan it is specialty because they say during Ramadan if you do a non-obligatory prayer, you get the reward of an obligatory prayer. So people are a bit more motivated to pray Tarawih. So Tarawih is 20 rounds of a regular prayer. So it's quite lengthy. So generally why people would like to go to Tarawih is because the leader of a prayer called Imam would also try to cover a section of the Quran at every night. So Quran is divided into 30 sections. So there are 30 days in Ramadan. So ideally if you go to Tarawih 30 days, all for every day of Ramadan, you would be essentially covering the entire Quran as well. So it's just 2 fruits in 1 stone, I guess. So that's part of Tarawih, and Tarawih is a big part of the community as well, I think, because during Ramadan, the day goes as normal as possible. You go to work, you do whatever on a normal day, you come back home, you have iftar, and then every male and female, I mean it's segregated, but the males and everyone get together at Tarawih, you have a chat overnight, and it's a very, it's a communal feeling. So everyone goes to Tarawih, you pray. Once Tarawih is done, you have a nice meetup, you come back home. So that's Tarawih for you in Ramadan, in short.
You want to add to that?
Yeah, adding on to that, because of the minority of like the Muslims in our countries, the mosques themselves are seen as like social hubs. So it's like the malls of our countries for Muslim people especially. So Tarawih is a time where you talk about life, you get a tea after your Tarawih, you spend like 30-40 minutes just chatting, and then you can go back home to sleep.
It has become a culture for many Muslim majority countries to have Tarawih as a big part of the month-long observation of fast. I'm interested when my friend here mentioned about fasting month in Malaysia is more commercialized compared to the more family-oriented inclination of the Southeast Asian continent. I'm assuming the Maldives would also have similar outlook, Bangladeshis and Pakistanis. In Malaysia, it has taken the commercial route where there are campaigns when it's fasting month, it's a Ramadan sale, or building up towards Eid, where it's the end. It marks the end of the fasting month, and people like indulge in all manners of festivities, which is like it's the ending of every night of observing Tarawih prayers. We won't do that again for the next year. So it has a bit of a negative connotation at some point, but I hope we new younger generations of Muslim would carry that torch and emphasize on the gathering of blessings, because the fasting month, like my friend had said, is a month where we collect as much as merits as we could, and that comes from the sharing of iftar food, the giving of alms, money, financial. My mother always called it ibadat maliyat, where you use your money as part of your worship, giving money or making or facilitating others during this time is getting more rewards than your usual months. So that is a very good explanation of Tarawih. Yeah? It's two raka'ah, two times prostrating, and yes, prostration, and you repeat that for 20. And then at the end of it, there's a closing prayers, which is the witr. So yeah, it's interesting. We are getting comments also from our participants. I saw some different words being used to describe sohor. There's cherry. Muslim countries, right? Yes, yes. Islam started in Saudi Arabia, and the Quran was revealed in Arabic. Although it by no means denotes what Muslims should aspire to be, as in assuming the Arabic culture, we use Arabic to understand the teachings of Islam. So sometimes I'm not an Arabic speaker, but I understand some Arabic by virtue of my reciting the ayahs in the Quran in the prayers. Yes. And that's why you see variation as well. Sohor is in Arabic, and then sahur is in Malay. So it's a Malay, you turn it into Malay, the Arabic word. And there are many words. Yeah. In Indonesia, we call it taraweh. Yeah. Yes. Not in, okay. Do you want to add to some of the...
Well, I put it on one thing. So, Wasim was saying about porridge from the masjid and stuff.
Yeah.
So, in Sri Lanka, is a huge part of well. So like I said, there's a community. Plus, in the community, so the masjid will hand out cards for each house. So you need to register. We call it the mahalla, basically community.
Mahalla.
So you get a card for each house. It has 30 boxes in it. So everyone lines up after Asr. So Asr is around 3:30. So you line up after Asr. You could see a huge line after Asr for people coming with buckets to collect porridge. And some people love the masjid porridge. You could see there's a separate room in the masjid, and there are huge amounts of rice and meat and onion. So these guys are working from morning, and it's made with coconut milk generally. So it's quite rich as well. That porridge alone is enough for you to fill you up 5 stars. So it's quite filling. So the masjid gives it for free, by the way. So there are people. So Ramadan is also a month of donation. So the masjid will call out for. The best part is the masjid will call out for donation 1 month before Ramadan. If you're late, you won't be able to donate for it.
Wow.
That's how fast it fills up.
Cut off from
It's
donating.
quite
You
fast.
cannot donate.
You need to beg for a date. I was like, because some people believe that certain dates, like let's say 17th of Ramadan, Badr. In Sri Lanka, there's the belief 27th of Ramadan is Laylatul Qadr and
Yes,
stuff like that.
yes.
So people
last
will
time.
be like, I want 27th of Ramadan. I want to donate for
On that specific
porridge.
day. Yes.
Because it's quite a huge undertaking. So I would say roughly it takes about 1,500 ringgits per day to make porridge for the community. So people say, I want to give the money, but you are
You
too late
get it.
because people just give it so fast, and it's quite a wonderful feeling because I have cousins and friends, even non-Muslim friends. I mean, probably my mom, if she sees this, she'll probably laugh about it. So what happens is, when I was in school, I won't be able to get back home in time for iftar, so I would have to have my iftar at a masjid on the way. So masjid get general donations. So sometimes you'll have like a really nice bun or samosa and stuff like that for iftar. So I go and have iftar. So once in a while, like I said, Muslims are minority in Sri Lanka. So when I tell my non-Muslim friends about this, they'll be like, "Bro, I want to try it too." So what we do is, I tell my Muslim friend, "Okay, I'll give you a cap. Just follow what I do. Just come along. Just follow what I do." Okay. So the guy would wear a cap. I would go to take wudu, and he would look at me and he would take wudu the same way I do, and he follows me right to the place where we eat. And when we eat, I'm like, okay, we can run now. So fond memories of school. So a lot of my non-Muslim friends, they love the food at the masjid as well. So that's a really fun memory I have of Ramadan.
Wow, thank you. I'm going to ask you about your fun memory, but I have to let one friend come online. It's Constanza from
Hi.
Italy. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. How are
Okay.
you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes. You are interested in our discussion about fasting month. Tell me
Yes, very
why. Tell me a
much.
bit about yourself and
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm Costanza. I'm 23. I study in Spain, actually. I'm back home here in Italy because of COVID-19, and I study human resources management. And yeah, I was raised a Catholic, like many people here. I do not consider myself a Catholic anymore. I'm like spiritual, but not religious. And here in Italy, we do not have many people from Asia. Unfortunately, I haven't met anyone from Malaysia yet, but we do have a huge community of people from Northern Africa. So Algeria, Morocco, Libya, and also Central Africa. And I remember my first impact with Islamic culture was in primary school because I have this friend from Pakistan, and she, at the end of Ramadan, she would come to school with these beautiful henna drawings on her hand.
Okay. Yes.
And I was like very curious. So I was like, what's that? Why do you do that? And stuff. And I remember some mornings she would bring me some sweets to school. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. You know, maybe we can eat them. And she was like, no, I cannot eat that right now. And I was like, why? Why do you do that? So growing up, I thought it was like, why do you do that? That's impossible. Not the food part. I was kind of worried about the drinking part.
Yes.
Because I myself drink like 3 liters a day
Yes. Yeah.
of water. And but now why I grow up and I have a friend, one of my best friends is Moroccan, and I I see her and she's like really looking forward to Ramadan. It's like a celebration to her. So my perspective changed, and I don't know. I've gone to the mosque with her sometimes. I was
Like your
invited
friend.
to, yeah, I was invited to the Eid al-Fitr. I'm sorry for the pronunciation sometimes. And I don't know, we have lots of friends here who are actually fasting. I remember, for example, in high school, when we have our final exams, the like test who can last 8 hours. So some of my friends would go to the imam and ask for a special permission to drink at least water during the exam. And I became aware of these sessions because I actually applied to study to Malaysia for a year, but I do not have Spanish citizenship. So I think it's a project between Spain and Malaysia. And since I am Italian, they didn't let me. So at least I joined this program to get to know your culture.
Oh, we will find opportunities for you to come to Malaysia, not just on that particular, but we will do it. You have to come and experience the Malaysian hospitality. Do you have any questions about what you have been hearing so far? And I think for all my friends in Korea, UK, as well as in Vienna, can also chip in to answer any one of your questions, or maybe you have opinions or statements that you wanted to make. Because I firstly would like to say thank you for the interest, and we don't have not here at least the Northern Africa Muslims, which is another cultural. To me, it's very interesting, and it would be very nice to be able to listen to them as well. They're from francophone countries. They speak French mostly, and we are all from the English-speaking part of the world. So on that basis alone, it's just like very different, very diverse observation of cultures and stories. Yeah, Constanza, do you have any?
I think something very interesting is like how Islam is spread to a variety of countries. Because, for example, Catholics are most set in Europe, and it's all that, around Rome and everything. But then it's interesting to me to see some not Arabic countries, and you still have the culture. So I think the history is very interesting, getting to know how Islam get there and what's behind that,
Yeah. Although we are different culturally, we still share very basic similarities. The observation of major ibadats or rituals in the religion. We have four major schools of thoughts or jurisprudence in Islam. For example, Malaysia follows the Shafi'i, India follows Hanafi, Shafi'i mostly. And sometimes in Malaysia, we also have those who observe. Shafi'i is the designated school of thought. It's like a Protestant, Lutheran, Roman Catholics. So that's in it's a bit different, but to explain it better, it would be easier to show it that way. Four schools. Some say 4+5 schools, but it's all about how we interpret the observations of our rituals. The basic ones are unchanging. There are lesser ones that are different from one schools to another. But fasting is observed universally. So regardless of whether you are in Muslims in Korea or Muslims in the Seychelles, Muslim in Saudi, everywhere, Muslim in Norway, they will have similar understanding. And it's also depending on the kind of ethnicities that bring the religious context to certain countries. For example, a Muslim goes into Japan via Turkish merchants, mostly Turkish merchants, and also from India as well. So you'll see remnants of that culture embedded in how Islam is being practiced in Japan. Because I'm interested in this issue as well, because I did my PhD in Muslim women in sport, and how the different cultures of Islam is reflected in their understanding of when they are faced with a Western concept. So I know a bit, not too much, but mostly sharing with everybody. Yeah. Any other questions, Constanza? Or would you like to experience? What would you like to? What would you wish that you could do?
I would like for people to be more open-minded, because, for example, in my country, fasting is still seen as something crazy, and lots of people are like, why do you do that? Don't you see that you need to eat, you need to drink, you need to, I don't know. But for example, I think it's a beautiful thing that you still have these important rituals in your religion, because for example, Catholics should also be fasting in the period before Easter.
Yeah.
But they do not do that like anymore. Not everyone I know. And I think they're so judgmental, but they should think of their self first, and I don't know, I would like people to talk more, to ask more, to understand more, because I understood, I recently read that it's to get in the shoes of someone who's fasting, not because of choice, but because they do not have anything to eat. So I think it's a great way to, I don't know, to develop your empathy, and so I think we should not stop on just the surface.
Yeah, you are so correct. The reason why Muslims should be fasting is not just abstaining from food and drinks and other activities as prescribed by the religion, but also to empathize with when people don't have compared to when we have. I take the example of the sharing of food. Initially, it started as making sure that your neighbor would have something to eat for the breaking of the fast. And then it becomes a culture where they will share what the household is having. And usually it is special meal, because iftar is a big thing for Muslim families all over the world. But you are correct. We should be reminded of the reason why this ritual is prescribed by God. Taking out the commercial aspect of it from the Malaysian context, at least, and reverting to a more inclusive practice of fasting. Families, not just those you consider blood relatives, but family of mankind. So, yeah, do you want to say something, Nina?
Yeah, just to slightly add on, because I did have some of my friends here who are non-Muslims who actually asked me why we as Muslims practice more only in Ramadan or this holy month, i.e. prayers or giving charity. Like, why aren't you supposed to be kind and all of that even throughout the year? And I would just like to fix that misconception that is, we don't just practice during this holy month. Rather, this month should prompt us into practicing more and to push us, to encourage us, and that this month would become a turning point for us to become better Muslims. Like, if we can do it throughout this month, we can do it beyond that as well. So just wanted to add that on.
That is a very good input, and very important ones too. It should remind us all the rituals that we are doing as Muslims, and I'm saying this from a Muslim perspective, that the core of what we do in Ramadan should not be just during Ramadan. It should be throughout the year. It should be the defining characteristics of who a Muslim is. We forgot that very easily. Otherwise, we won't have all these issues that we are facing in the world. Sometimes the discrimination that is faced by Muslims in other jurisdictions are not brought by Muslims themselves, but they had been steadfast, they had been persevering in light of such hardship. And we are reminded of that hardship. And where we can, we will have to do something. We will have to make it better. That is why we start with families that is blood, and then those who are close to us, those who are our neighbors, regardless of whether they share the same religion or the same blood relations to us, but it's humankind. Yeah. My friends from Vienna or Seoul wanted to add on to this experience. Like Constanza was saying that they wanted to see more, she wanted to see more of these good virtues being practiced, and not just during the holy month of Ramadan. And also, just to, yeah, okay. Would you like to add to that? Beyond practicing beyond the month of Ramadan as a Muslim.
The month of Ramadan shouldn't be the bare minimum.
Okay.
Rather, the rest of the month has to be the bare minimum, and Ramadan has to be the special month. And we have to donate, take care of the less fortunate people, and do the things we should do that make us human, and not do it because it's a religious thing.
And it's also not just to be a ritual. It should be something that connects you. It's not something that I have to pray 5 times a day. It's the reason why I'm praying is to be better, to serve my God, so that I can serve the humankind, not just the Muslims, but the nation or the community that I'm living in. But it's very hard to instill that sort of philosophical concept. And I'm very happy that the younger generations, younger than me, that I'm seeing here, and also the comment sections of the chat, is feeling that, or if that can be triggered in the discussion that we had, would be something that I would say that would achieve the objective of this sharing session. Okay. We are going to end the month of Ramadan, and we are going to have one of the major celebrations in the Muslim calendar. We have 2 Eids actually, 2 Christmases. One is Eid al-Fitr, which is going to be next week, and the other one is Eid al-Adha, which is going to happen more than a month after the end of Eid al-Fitr. Maybe I can start with Nina. Your preparations for Eid, or in our culture it's called Hari Raya, or Lebaran
Hari
in
Raya.
Indonesia. Yes. Go ahead,
I'm
Nina.
very excited. I actually brought like 2 pairs of baju raya or clothing attire because I'm just that excited to celebrate Eid here. And just to slightly add on, fasting hours here are different in all throughout the UK because the hours are different. And that means here in Glasgow, we actually started our fasting a day later as compared to other parts of the UK. So when other people started on the 12th, we actually started on the 13th. So that was announced by the Glasgow Central Mosque. So that means we're going to celebrate a day later than everyone else.
Okay,
Yeah.
be brave.
Yeah. But I'm sure it's going to be so fun because the restrictions are being eased. And having that in mind, we should be able to meet more people outdoor and indoors. But yeah, I'm really excited to experience Eid here with all my friends, all my Muslim friends, all my non-Muslim friends who are really eager to experience it with us. Yeah.
That's nice. What about food though?
Oh, food. Like I said, I have really good housemates who are
Okay, yeah,
very good
lucky
cooks.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Even then,
good.
I think we can still find a
Yeah,
lot of
true.
halal food here. So that's not going to be an issue for me, alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what about Amran? You're going to spend the Eid in style, I would say. How how's the preparation going?
To be honest, I don't really have like preparation. Yeah, because with the current situation, plus I am being alone here, so I don't really have like preparation or anything.
Yeah.
Before coming here, I don't really like think about, oh, I'm going to spend Raya or Iftar
Okay.
or Eid or Ramadan in Vienna alone. I didn't really think about that before coming here. Now that I'm here, I don't think it's going to change that much because
Yeah.
in Malaysia we are in Malaysia, you guys are under lockdown, right, for the Eid.
Yeah.
I feel like here is much better because we are currently like slowing down the lockdown
Okay.
and we can gather at the mosque or the yeah, but then I don't know because there's not much Malaysian community here,
Yeah.
so it's kind of different. You cannot really like see the festive, the excitement. It just every day is like a normal day. Yeah,
Yeah.
and plus the
Maybe you have
my
class.
yeah, most of my friends here are not Muslim, so it's just something that you feel it alone, I guess.
Yeah. You are a superman. You make video calls with families back home, I would assume.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
like it's all
But that hurts more because you can see that they are like having all this food that I couldn't make. And yeah.
but
But
I mean not I mean this opportunity being abroad alone kind of uh change your perspective just not always, because being 5 months away from Malaysia, experiencing my first time in Europe, not it's just something new to explore. So I take it as a learning experience or part of lifelong experience. I mean, it's not a bad thing because next year I can always go back to Malaysia and celebrate with my family. So yeah, I mean,
and I think you would miss this too. Going back to Malaysia with all kinds of distractions, it could get overwhelming. People get very stressed out for Eid celebrations. So yeah, you might miss this. I can guarantee you.
I'm going to miss
But
all the stress of buying new
yeah,
shirts, new stuff,
exactly.
what to eat. But yeah,
But you are already growing into somebody you would be, from the discussion that we had,
hmm
from the way you express yourself. So this is the varied reactions and experiences, how some have families here, some who have not, but the culture is festive enough for you to experience the fasting. Some who's in a foreign country. It's exciting. It does get a bit sentimental in holiday or festive seasons time, because that's a time when you will reconnect with your families. But sometimes you need some time away too, and those are the kind of character building actions that you'll have to go through. Yeah. And my last friend, not the least, in Korea, how's the Eid preparations going?
There's not much preparation.
You seemed relaxed.
Yeah, because
It's Haikal.
yeah, I'm relaxed all the time.
Yeah.
Actually, I brought a pair of baju Melayu with some pin.
Okay. Oh, you did.
And
you did.
yeah.
And the flag, of course.
Yeah, and the flag.
Very proud Malaysian.
Yeah.
But you have a sister, which is like.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But celebrating here is a bit hard because there's a restriction on how many people can be in a group right now because of the corona.
Yeah.
So there's maximum of 4 people only. Yeah.
Well, we have restrictions like that too. We couldn't go to another district in Kuala Lumpur, so we share the same sentiments. Yeah. What about my friends here?
Eden, I mean, now Eid's gonna be here, so probably go to the mosque and come back home. Nothing special because of MCO and all.
Yeah.
But in India would have been different. If we could have flown back, I would have probably been in India right now. And India, like I said, now all your family comes to usually the grandmother's house, because that's the central for all the aunts and uncles. And everybody buys each other gifts.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Exchange of gifts.
Yeah, because
it's like Christmas.
Especially during Ramadan, it's when you have to wear new clothes the entire day. So you get like one set of clothes from your aunt, another from an uncle. So because everybody comes over, you by the end of the day you have like 6-7 new sets of clothes.
Lucky.
And, so you change after every 2 hours. You change to a new attire.
Just to make sure that the one who is gifted. Okay, see, I'm. Oh wow.
Yeah. And we cook biryani. That's like a must.
Biryani. Is it which part? Lamb or? Must be lamb. Mutton. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And if we have enough people, we'd actually bring a goat home to slaughter in the house itself.
Okay.
But if it's like 10-15 people, then
you just get the prepared mutton.
And usually the women cook. But last year was different actually, because the aunts went on strike.
The aunts went on strike. Mm-hmm.
They said, no, we're not going to cook this raya, we're going to go shopping. So it was the uncles, my dad, and me, we all helped the cooking. Yeah. The biryani wasn't so good, but we tried,
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's, you...
we made like biryani. Yeah.
So it's good lah. Biryani is always good. Mutton cannot go wrong. Yeah.
Go wrong.
That's a funny part too. That's the strike. The auntie goes on strike because they couldn't handle cooking for the entire family, 25-member family anymore. We wanted to go shopping. More shopping money for us, please. What about you?
Well, Eid in Sri Lanka actually starts with you being behind the radio on the 29th of Ramadan. Okay, what happens is, I don't know, I was quite surprised when I came to Malaysia because the first time before Ramadan was announced, I was waiting for an official announcement saying Ramadan has started. Okay. And then the next day someone comes to me, aren't you fasting today? It's Ramadan. I'm like, what? There was no announcement.
Okay.
I'm like, I was quite surprised. But in Sri Lanka, what happens is there's a Grand Masjid in Colombo. Okay. So they will look for the new moon. So when the new moon has been sighted, they will announce it's Ramadan. So I think some people would know, some people wouldn't. Generally, Islamic month can have 29 or 30 days.
Yes.
So you need to look for the new moon.
Yes.
So it's the same when the month ends. So Ramadan can have 29 days or 30 days. So we wait for the 29th day. We are behind the radio hoping that this year's Ramadan is 29 days.
Yes.
So it's one day short, so next tomorrow is Eid. So we wait for the announcement. So after it starts at 6:30, and you wait till about 7:30. You have the radio on because the announcement goes on radio, National Broadcasting Corporation radio. So they will announce. Let's say takbir. The moment you say Allahu Akbar, you know it's Ramadan tomorrow.
Yes,
it's all
yes.
chaos at home. The first thing it's a love-hate story. Okay, as a kid, when you're about 6 until you're about 18 years old, the moment your mom says Ramadan, your mom is in panic. She rushes to make the desserts for the morning, the sweets for morning, and the kids are asked to clean the house. Cleaning the house is because my dad is very particular. He would check. He would go around. He said, "This is not clean. That is not clean." Because every house wants to be impressing everyone else because people are coming home.
Yes.
So it has to be spotless.
Yes.
So you spend the entire night, about 6 hours. Me, my brother, and my sister were cleaning the entire house. And as we grew up, I took a bit more of the kitchen responsibilities as well. So what happens is my mom would make the biryani and stuff. And in Sri Lanka, there's this famous sweet called vatlapan. I'm not sure. I'm not seen in Malaysia though. It's made with the coconut milk, coconut jaggery,
Okay.
and it's made in some sort of a custard. You mix it
custard.
together and you steam it. It's really lovely, and with eggs as well. So it's really lovely. And also, I should say, Ramadan is the time in Sri Lanka where you are reminded you're Muslim by non-Muslims. Because they'll be like, brother, where's my vatlapan?
Okay.
You can't get out anywhere without giving anyone a vatlapan. Your neighbors are like, bro, it's Ramadan now. Where's my biryani and my vatlapan? So my mom, she makes huge amounts of biryani. And let's say I have 15 non-Muslim neighbors, I have to give 15 biryanis to everyone and 15 watlapams to everyone. Or else you never hear the end of it. So that's there. And like Rasin said, in their house, the aunt went on strike.
Yes.
But in our house, what happens is my mom handles the savory section because, I don't know, for some reason, guys are not given the savory section. I think I can do that. But okay. But what we do is there's this sweet called dodol and shawarsi as well. It's Tamil. So
Dodol, they have it in Malaysia.
they have it here.
Yeah. It's
And
like the sticky glutinous rice
Yeah. No,
with a lot of sugar, coconut sugar.
Yeah.
That it becomes like a very thick consistency.
black
of
color.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So-
Maybe we got it from you.
No, probably you got it from Malaysia.
Okay.
So-
exchange of culture there, Constanza.
Because Sri Lanka has a small Malay community as well. Who came to Sri Lanka in around 1800s as British soldiers. So that was there.
I see.
So dodol, if you know how it's made, it's notoriously hard to make because it sticks to the pan.
Yes.
And shawarsi is a lesser version of dodol. It's more easy to cook. But dodol, if you have made it, it takes quite a bit of arm work because you need to keep shifting it around. And sometimes the ladies might find it a bit difficult to do it because it's about 2 hours of
non-stop
stirring. So me and my dad would take over that. So we would do that. And at one point, when it becomes forming together, when it comes together, it becomes slow slippery. Once the dodol literally flew off the pan, and my dad had to push it with his hand back in because it was so oily. It just flew off. So yeah, it's quite fun and a little bit of accidents as well. But yeah, that's Ramadan for you. But also one thing, now it's COVID, so you can't go anywhere. Sri Lanka is on lockdown. But a big part of Ramadan is, so with Ramadan prayer, you have the meal before going to the masjid. That's sunnah, basically. That's what is advised. So we have the meal before going to the masjid. Once we go to the masjid, and I think some people forgot to mention do try as well. It's probably one of the favorite parts of the kids, where you get money from your elders.
Packets of money given.
Actually, I was just
to
gonna
children.
ask that. Yeah, I was gonna ask if there is a culture or tradition of
The Sri
elders
Lankan-
giving, Sri Lankans or Indians or Muslims
It's like the
throughout
Chinese
world.
ampao. where they
Yeah,
give
packets of
money
money
to
and giving it
children
to-
or those who are
Yeah.
unmarried.
Mhm.
Yeah, they do. Which is I was surprised because I was surprised that
Exactly.
you mentioned dodol the first time. Dodol is a delicacy, Constanza, that is unique to, we thought, Malay culture in Malaysia. But apparently, my friend in Sri Lanka will spend a memorable end of fasting month with his dad, stirring a cauldron of glutinous rice with coconut sugar so hard that it sticks to the pan, and the idea is not for the concoction to stick to the pan. And because of the oil, coconut.
We put ghee, Jenny.
Oh, ghee. Okay, they put ghee, so that helps with the emulsifying of
Emulsifying.
yeah, but it's good. It's good. Google dodol. So yeah,
DODOL.
I learned something from Faiz now. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that is a memory that all of us will bring. I mean, I'm sure in the Christmas time, at least from what we saw from the Hollywood movies, the preparation, it could be different for the Italian Christians or other countries in Europe. But we also have that sort of good things that will remain as memories in a family when they celebrate family-centered religious holidays, and gives so much meaning. Not just it's different from New Year, where it's like people go for good times, and because it's a holiday, there's no work tomorrow. It marks the end of the year. Religious holidays always have very special meanings because of the family concept. Mothers, I'm hearing mothers, aunties, the entire army of aunties striking as a pivotal section, or a pivotal
They carry Ramadan basically.
yes. So that is what will remind us. I cannot say us maybe because I'm from a different generation, but as a mother with a 22-year-old son, so can I say all of you are my children? I can actually.
Yeah, yes, mommy.
Yeah, yes, mommy. Oh my God. I do share some memories, not as illustrative or as fun as how you depict it, because I come from a rural family that transitions to urban. I live not far from Kuala Lumpur. So Kuala Lumpur is a city, the capital. Oh my God, I lost it. The capital of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So I live about 25 kilometers. So it's pretty much suburban. So I don't experience too much of a rural lifestyles. My mother did, and she tried to. My mother again. She tried to bring some of the traditions that she had experienced as a child in our own celebrations, but it has become very diluted. I would say that is the sad part.
I think it's just a part of Malaysia being very commercialized. Because I live in Colombo, which is the capital of Sri Lanka, and Rasin is from Chennai, which is quite industrialized.
Yes, Chennai.
But I think even though I'm from Colombo, like when Ramadan comes, let's forget all the food and the fun. There are a few cornerstones of Ramadan of Eid which we definitely fulfill. So first is visit your elders. So like I said, once we do the prayer is important, the Eid prayer, and right after that we go to the graveyard. It's compulsory. All the men go to the graveyard, definitely.
Wow.
To see. I don't think I can remember Eid that I have not gone to the graveyard every single time. So let's say my dad's father passed away, or my mom's father passed away, or whoever my elders or my relatives have passed away, we go to the graveyard and pay our respects first. That's number one priority. No matter what happens, that happens on Eid, guaranteed.
Wow.
And then what happens is, like Nasin said, they all get together in one house. Or what you do is all the younger siblings or the younger members of the family, they go towards the elder members of the family. We go pay them a visit. So in Sri Lanka, in Malaysia, it's because Muslims are the majority, you have extended holidays.
Yeah.
In Sri Lanka, you get one public holiday.
Yes, that's correct.
So what happens is if my brother has work or my dad has work, they come home at 5. We go visiting our relatives for the next 3 days. So because they say after Eid until 3 days you can give salam. Salam is basically
Okay.
it's basically a hug,
Yes,
but
yes,
they
yes.
say it's for 3 days of sort.
Yeah.
So I remember my Eid. I would start at 5, I'd come home at 1 in the morning because I was visiting about 20 relatives on that specific day. So these are some of the cornerstones of Ramadan of Eid for me, apart from the food. So these are these are something my dad have imparted on me, my family. One time my parents could not, but they said me and my brother, you should go
Must
alone. They said you need to go.
represent the family,
Yeah,
the
so
parents. Wow.
this is very, very important for us in Sri Lanka. Maybe you're urban, suburban, rural, but these are common aspects of every Muslim family in Sri Lanka during Eid.
I see.
I'm not sure what changed in Malaysia, but this is something that I think it's common in India too.
Yeah. In India, for me, I don't really experience it because everybody comes from the
Yeah.
city,
So
and I don't really get the opportunity to visit them too
Yeah.
because they're like 7-8 hours away,
Yeah.
and like going around the state wouldn't be like a good idea.
So the
But,
geographical locations of where you are also plays a part in when the society design the celebrations as well, because obviously in Sri Lanka it would be convenient
It's a
to
smaller
go.
country.
It's a small country. I'm not going to say that, but yeah, you can actually go, and you enjoy going and seeing, you know, the somewhere that is not where your home. But India is a continent of itself, and it's huge, and it's the concept is the same. It's just a geographical locations is defining how you practice. In Malaysia, we do have visits as well, only because of the recently announced movement control order. We couldn't do that. We will never be able to do that for this Eid at least. But there are societies that practice that, going from, because of the geographical locations, going from one family to another. In one day, it could be 10, 11 families. At the end of that, you're going to be very full. You promise you're not going to eat anything anymore because you are bursting at the seams. And it's considered you can offend the guests if you don't take a sip of the drink or eat the countless canisters of cookies that will be ready on the table all day, all the time. So you go and, why don't you eat? The host will go, why don't you eat? I was like, but I have eaten. Oh no, you must try this one. This one, another auntie from another state brought this, you have to try. They open and you'll go, okay, I will. So times 10 household and you'll not be able to do that anymore. But yeah, we do have that the tradition. Only my concern, my worry now is, as we become more commercialized, Malaysia at least, urbanized, we are losing that. But I also see a new trend. Visiting relatives is becoming lesser importance, but friends are becoming more prominent. So I can see from my son's Instagram or Insta stories every Eid, they will make a point to reconnect with friends from school, younger friends. I mean, even the first or second day, which is usually reserved for families, they will go and reconnect with friends. So that's a good trend, I think. But I think also parents such as myself would have to instill the family oriented, know your family, who are your cousins, second cousins, third cousins, third once removed or twice removed. I don't know how you explain that, but it's worrying that my son would not be able to recognize his own second cousins. So that wouldn't happen in your culture. Never happen in the Sri Lankan culture. No. Wow, that is very nice. I'm enjoying this. I hope all of you are enjoying it too. Or I'm just But I have friends here, so I'm cool. And all my international friends. Constanza, can you feel the excitement of, Muslims in
Yes.
various cultures trying to, and various locations?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
like Christmas here a bit. It's a bit different because here it's a day, but like I remember the best part was as a kid when I woke up and I knew that there were presents under the Christmas tree. And so I would like run down to see them and open them with my family. And and my father the night before Christmas, he would ring a little bell and told me that I should go to bed because that was the reindeer of Santa Claus. So I couldn't be up when he came. So and then in Christmas Day we would get together as a family and have a big lunch, like 5-6 hour lunch, and then you end up so full.
Yes. That is very nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be December soon before you know it. So yeah, hang in there, Constanza. Yeah. In the meanwhile, join us in our Eid celebrations.
Yes, I would actually be joining my friend in its celebration, but she's in Spain and I'm here now, and I'm going to Spain for my exams on the 28th of May. So I'm gonna miss that just by a couple of days. I'm so sad.
Oh yeah, otherwise you would have be able to join her.
Yes, because since I'm there all alone, my family is in Italy. When I go to Spain to study, she likes made me part of the family, to make me feel welcome and to have someone, it's very nice.
So that is family. It doesn't have to be blood relations.
No,
it's
no,
somebody
no.
who cared for you and somebody who's willing to spend time with you, like us here. Yeah, we are here.
I love this melting pot. I'm gonna miss these meetings in the next days.
Oh, I'm missing it already.
Yes.
Because all of you made it so interesting, and I'm hugging the. Okay. I just wanted to ask my Malaysian friends. Do you get invites to the Malaysian embassy for the iftar? Oh no, sorry, either iftar or Eid, or do they even know you here? The embassy, are they taking care of you? We are going to make reports of them not taking care of Malaysians.
At least if I can speak for myself, I'm sure if they could, they would have, but then because of the restrictions and all that, and considering that Scotland is more northern as compared to the other parts of England, we do have a community here, and usually they would have like Eid celebrations, Raya, right, on Eid the morning itself. But then because we are limited, even though we're meeting outside in groups, I don't. Right now, it's still not allowed, but we are still hoping that we can. So yeah, hopefully, like I said,
I think the COVID restrictions are, changing a lot of how we do the celebrations too. It will be a lot more Zoom meetings like this. I'm having my food. I'll show you my food. You imagine what it tastes like. It's crazy.
Yeah, virtually.
But it's good to be able to connect, at least to see the faces, to the voices that you're hearing. I couldn't get to see all participants in this meeting, but I managed to glance through the chat box. It is interesting, lively, and you're right, Constanza. We're going to miss this. This is something outside of normal academic discussion, but before you know it, there are so many lessons that I learned from the sharing of the panels here. I learned that in his household, he will get presents from everybody. the same thing, the same way that he will have to give presents. So he will have to show the gratitude by wearing usually a set of salwar kameez or kurta.
It's just a kurta shirt.
It's a kurta shirt. It's a tunic. It's a tunic of different colors, different make, and parade that. And that's just one person. There will be other boys in the family who will also parade the kurta, the tunic. So that's a fashion show for the Eid that they're having. So that's basically festivities in different households. It's not just confined to the traditions. It's traditions that you create. Society create your own traditions. You are creating your own traditions. Before you know it, you'll have your own family, and you'll create. And the way we are moving right now, it's going to be very normal for our household. One of our member of our household would be in other countries, having different time zones, but having the same celebrations, sit together, get together virtually, I think. Yeah. So any last words from anyone, everyone? I will ask from everyone. Any last words from the panels with this regard? Anyone can start. Well, I'll pick because Nina, say something.
I think Ashraf unmuted himself, so I'll let him go first.
Okay, Ashraf. Oh yeah, okay.
I just want to add on that Ramadan is not just about to empathize or just for religious purpose, but also at the same time just about self-control or your willpower, trying to like self-control yourself. And Ramadan in Malaysia, just like you said, is pretty commercialized. We have bazaar, so every time like when we want to have iftar, we just spend money on food, buffet. But being here in Vietnam, just every day is like a normal day. Ramadan is like even the Ramadan day is just like a normal day. You can always break your fast. You can always like even non-Muslim friends here, obviously, no one going to monitor you. You can break your fast. No one going to know. But then good not. And at the end of the day, it's just about your self-control. No matter how long it is, 17 hours, 12 hours in Malaysia, 17 hours here, just about self-control. And yeah, I have two friends here that are from different branch of Muslim. They are Ismaili Muslims. So they don't really fast, but they still respect the month. They just drink water, but they don't eat. And I feel like Ramadan, at the end of the day, the point is sense. Ramadan is about how you control yourself, how you control your lust or the appetite. It's all about taking control of yourself, and also at the same time to experience what other people feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep. It's educating yourself. Yes, more. Yes. That's very good. Wow, profound, genius. I say that in a very positive. Yeah. Yes.
Because
Okay.
here you just like you can always break your fast. No one gonna know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's just about
Self-discipline.
and
It
how you
comes
going
from
to.
you. Wow. Nina, you also.
Very well said, Ashraf.
Yes.
That's very deep and meaningful. I definitely agree with you in everything that you said. I think a lot have been said, a lot have been shared, and I personally have learned a lot as well. And I think what's really special about this month and celebrating Eid is learning more about other people, about ourselves, being kinder, being more humane, and essentially just spreading the love that we have with God, with everyone else, and just being happy. So I wish everyone in advance a very eventful and festive Eid, and yeah, a very blessed one as well.
Yep. Brava. Hi, Carl.
I got nothing much to add, but just want to wish everyone a happy Eid, early Eid. Yeah.
You're so chill.
Yeah.
Bravo.
He really is.
Yeah. A rock star. Constanza, what would you say to us, your newfound Muslim
Yeah.
families?
I think what we are doing here is far more important than studying. You know, I'm actually skipping my classes. I should be connected to class right now. But I think that's what life is about, you know, getting to know each other, mixing cultures. And yeah, so I'm very grateful, and Ramadan Kareem to you all.
Oh, thank you. Grazie, grazie. Thank you so much. You are such a sweet girl. My daughter.
Thank you.
My friend here. Sir.
Yeah, they've already said everything that I want to say. So yeah, I wanted to wish very happy Eid for everybody. I've been very grateful because I got to experience Eid in like the cultures of two different countries, in Malaysia and India. And so if anybody wants to experience it in India, just if you guys come to India, just message me. Yeah, and you guys I can show you around and stuff.
I will take your offer.
Sure.
He's in Madurai, so clothes, the textiles are excellent.
Yeah, it's the temple city.
Yeah.
It's a very nice place.
And my
Well,
brother.
I mean, everyone is quite deep and serious, but I just want to say that, like, most of the talk was revolved around how Ramadan has been and will be, and everyone's like, it's COVID right now, and just lockdown, and unfortunately, we couldn't do that, we couldn't do this. But I think, especially if you're a university student who's living in a university, in the hostel, you're going to be surrounded by a few friends from different cultures. That's how my past 3 years have been. So I think my Ramadan will still be the same. I'm still with my friend. Rasin is there, a few other friends, different cultures. So it'll be as usual. We'll get together. It won't be as grand as before, but we'll still get together, have a meal, sit together. And I think that's the essence of Eid and Ramadan. We get together and have fun. So I think we all can still continue doing that in a safe manner, I guess. So I think you all should focus on that instead of focusing on the negative. So that being said, I say Ramadan Kareem to everyone.
Thank you, shukran. That is so profound too. I mean, I'm surrounded by geniuses. I would be the one most benefited from all these conversations. All these younger generations, younger than me. I am 50 years old. That is like the wizard. Never mind. But I get the energy. I get the vibes. And you are right when you mentioned about the essence of Ramadan itself. Whatever happens, we will always save it. We will always use that. We will deduce that from our own strength to define the ways that we need it to go. I'm not sure if you understand this, but I'm getting the vibe from all of you, from Ashraf in Venice, where you mentioned about self-control. To Constanza, who was asking whether this would be something that Muslims would always portray, which is what it should be. To engaging with the community, to just being a good human first, and that is the sign of a good Muslim. And I think I would want to end this very, very insightful discussions. My panelists here are very good at sharing their experiences. It's so vivid. I can actually imagine that happening. And also stories from abroad. I'm seeing young leaders that is going to come back. Hopefully you'll come back to the country, to lead the country with experiences that strengthen you as an individual, and with an experience the opportunity, the opportunity to see what's out there and what is it for you, the potential that you can do more. It's all this is what defines Ramadan to me. You conquer the bad side of you and have the good side as something that you would be comfortable enough to connect or serve the community. I think I would also like to record my appreciation to the International Student Center, Madam Vicky, who had been a pivotal role in arranging everything together. You know, I told everybody here, there's a team behind the screen, yeah, which is like, I feel like I am at a professional TV channel studio. You should have seen. And they worked tirelessly. They wanted to make sure that the experience that ISC had been doing with the international students before, prior to, now we have pre-COVID, COVID and post-COVID era. It's like neo-colonialism, never mind. So, so I want to thank everybody here. I want to just give them a big round of applause for making this a reality, a platform for all of my children to be on board online, listen to the sharing of my wonderful, wonderful family about what it means to be a Muslim, fasting, Eid, and what it means to be an active member of the society and community, wherever you are, regardless of the nations, regardless of the geographical locations. So thank you so much, everybody. And I think I have no time left. I would also wish everybody Ramadan Kareem and then Eid Mubarak in anticipation. Stay safe. Continue to fight this COVID together wherever you are. And I hope to be able to see all of you again very soon. Thank you. Ramadan Kareem, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Grazie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It was really eye-opening.
Thank you so much for that comment. Yeah. Okay, I am just like.
Thank you, Dr. Wirda, and all the panelists for the wonderful sharing session on Ramadan. We have learned a lot of things about Ramadan, and I hope the participants did too. Well done and good job to everyone for joining us today with so much of enthusiasm. Here is a reminder to all participants. For tomorrow, we are pleased to invite you to join our Jom Iftar closing day, which consists of video presentation, recap of our Jom Iftar event that has been going on for the past few days, and witness the talents of our own buddies who came up with number of performances only for you. It's now the time to bid goodbye. Please have a good rest and come back tomorrow to be with us in Jom Iftar closing day. Once again for Muslims, happy Iftar, and to everyone, thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
There's
Bye
a request to
bye.
do. Hi, bye bye. There's a request from. God, we are okay now. We are off. There's a request from.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, boy.